American drama. Have you ever felt that your family didn't want you? Or what would you do if you realized your loved ones saw you as a burden? What you're about to hear will shock you. Are you ready? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. My name is Margaret Thompson. I'm 72 years old, and I want to tell you the story of what happened to me in Portland, Oregon. This story is about how they cornered me and how I finally fought back. Let me tell you, it was a payback they never expected. After losing my husband Robert to a heart attack, I was left alone in our big house filled with memories of our 40-year marriage. His shadow was in every corner. The kitchen table where he drank his morning coffee, the armchair where he read the newspaper in the evenings, the backyard where we worked in the garden together. Everything reminded me of him. My son Michael and his wife Sarah came to see me a week after the funeral with worried faces. They said, "You shouldn't be alone anymore, Mom," and suggested I move in with them. When they showed me the guest room in the basement of their modern house in Denver that they had prepared for me, I thought this was a temporary solution, just until I got over my grief. But I realized too late how wrong I was. When I sold my house in Portland and moved to Denver, I hoped a new chapter would open in my life. The first days were promising. I helped my granddaughter Emma with her school projects, guided her with her math homework. I taught little Jake how to play ping pong and told him stories left over from his grandfather. I helped Sarah with cooking, washed Michael's car in the garage. I felt useful. I thought I was contributing to the family. However, I started receiving subtle signals for weeks. Sarah would give me looks implying I was too slow while cooking in the kitchen, impatiently tapping her fingertips on the counter. Michael would grumble Mom's making a bit of noise when turning up the TV volume, talking as if I wasn't there. The children weren't as close to me as before. They didn't want me to read stories anymore. Emma had started saying, "Grandma, your stories are too long." Every passing day, I felt myself becoming more invisible. Conversations at the dinner table would flow around me. Plans were being made, as if I wasn't there. They would say, "We're going to the movies tomorrow," without including me. They made "we're going on a picnic this weekend" plans without asking if I wanted to come. One evening, while sitting in my room downstairs, I heard voices from upstairs. Michael and Sarah were talking about me. At first, I tried not to listen, but the voices were getting louder. "I can't stand it anymore," Sarah was saying, with desperation she couldn't suppress in her voice. "She does everything so slowly, keeps repeating the same stories. It takes her half an hour to drink her morning coffee. Even the kids are starting to get uncomfortable. Yesterday, Emma asked me, 'Why is Grandma always here?'" Michael's response broke my heart. "I know, Sarah, but what can we do? I'm not ready to send her to a nursing home yet. After all, she's my mother." "You don't have to be ready," Sarah said in a sharp voice. "Let's just show her some nice senior living places." I looked at Greenwood Manor. They have people her age there. They organize activities. She'll be happier among her peers. "But can she afford that place?" Michael asked anxiously. "She has the insurance money from Robert and Social Security," Sarah said calculatingly. "Plus the money left from selling the house in Portland. She'll be comfortable." I couldn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling waiting for morning. The next morning at breakfast, they acted as if nothing had happened. But now I knew the truth. I was a burden to them. Worse yet, they were calculating my financial situation. As days passed, I noticed the situation getting even worse. Sarah wouldn't even make eye contact with me anymore. When I entered the kitchen, she would say, "Come on, Margaret, I'll handle it," and gently but firmly move me away. When Michael came home, he would go straight to his room, not chatting with me. He would always say I had a tiring day. "Mom, the children seemed to have forgotten me in their games." Jake no longer wanted to play ping pong. Emma wouldn't ask for help with math homework, making excuses like my teacher taught a different method. On a Saturday morning, the breaking point came. I had decided to make a cake for Emma's birthday, an old-fashioned chocolate cake recipe that Robert loved so much. He would always tell me, "Margaret, your cake is the most beautiful cake in the world." I worked in the kitchen for hours, making sure every detail was perfect. I carefully smoothed the cream layers, wrote Emma's name on top with chocolate chips. When I put the cake on the table, I was smiling with pride. I'll never forget the expression on Sarah's face when she entered the kitchen. First surprise, then anger, then controlled irritation. "Margaret, what's this?" she asked, with tension she was trying to suppress in her voice. "Emma's birthday cake," I said excitedly. "My old family recipe. Robert loved it so much." "I already ordered the cake," she said coldly, clasping her hands at her waist. "Strawberry cream, Emma's favorite. What are we going to do with 2 cakes now?" Michael entered the kitchen at that moment and frowned when he saw the situation. "Mom, why didn't you ask Sarah first?" That's when I understood. I was no longer part of this family. I was just an unwanted guest. Decisions were being made without me. Plans were being made without me. But the real shock happened at dinner. Sarah looked at me and started speaking, carefully adjusting her tone. "Margaret, Michael, and I want to tell you something." My heart started beating rapidly. Emma and Jake had been sent to the living room to watch TV. "We saw a very nice nursing home nearby," Sarah said, as if she was suggesting a perfect gift. "Greenwood Manor. It has a garden. They organize activities. There's a choir, art classes. You have peers there. Maybe we could go look at it." Michael nodded. "Mom, you feel restricted here. You're having trouble adapting to our schedule. You'll be free there. You'll live at your own pace." Free? Would I be free when they were kicking me out of their house? "I need some time to think about it," I said, trying not to let my voice tremble. "Of course, Mom," Michael said with relief. "We're not in a hurry." But I had seen the relief on their faces. The decision had already been made. That night, lying in my bed, I felt how much I missed Robert. If he were here, he would never allow this situation. "Margaret," he would say, "you are the heart of this family. A family cannot live without a heart." But now I was alone, and it was clear that I was no longer wanted. Then a plan came to my mind, a dark and crazy plan. The next day when Michael and Sarah went to work, the children were at school. When I was alone in the house, I took action. First, I called the nearby nursing homes and learned the prices. Greenwood Manor wanted $4,500 a month. Then I put my real plan into action. I started collecting valuable items, from every corner of the house. Sarah's antique vases inherited from her grandmother, Michael's first edition book collection, the children's expensive toys, Sarah's jewelry, Michael's golf clubs, even the expensive organic food in the refrigerator. I carefully put everything in boxes. But I didn't just collect items. I called their banker, my old friend Tom Wilson, and explained the situation. It turned out I learned that Michael's mortgage payments were 3 months behind. Sarah's credit card debt was $45,000. Their financial situation was much worse than I thought. Tom said, "Margaret, without your social security check, they'll lose that house." That's when I understood why they had taken me in. Not just to help. They needed my social security check and the insurance money from Robert. My monthly $3,200 social security check and the $850,000 insurance money from Robert was financing their lifestyle. But they were ready to dump me after using me. That afternoon, I called a moving company. "I need urgent moving service," I said. "Everything needs to be stored. Family emergency." The men came within 2 hours with a big truck. They loaded everything in the house: furniture, electronics, clothes, even the small appliances in the kitchen onto the truck. Sarah's valuable Italian leather sofa set, Michael's $5,000 television system, the children's playroom, everything was gone. I accompanied them and stored everything in a storage unit, one rented under my name, a large storage unit for $200 a month. Only bare walls and empty rooms remained in the house, and my single suitcase that I left in my bedroom. But I wasn't finished yet. When Michael and Sarah came home in the evening, I was waiting for them. I was sitting in the living room on the floor in the middle of the house, cross-legged Indian style. Everything around me was completely empty. The expression on their faces when they opened the door was priceless. First surprise, their eyes opened wide, then fear, their breath caught, then anger. Their faces turned red. "Mom, what happened here?" Michael shouted. His voice cracked. "I did what you suggested," I said calmly, without getting up. I prepared to move. Sarah was trembling as she looked around. "Where are our things? Where is everything? Where's the TV? Where are the sofas?" "In a safe place," I said, smiling. "Just like I will be." Michael ran his hands through his hair. He was panicking. "This is crazy. Bring our things back immediately. This is theft." "No, Michael," I said, getting up. "It's not theft. I just helped our family. You want to send me to Greenwood Manor, so I helped you. Now you don't have things to worry about." Sarah started crying. "Margaret, this is crazy. What will the children say? What will the neighbors think?" "The neighbors?" I laughed. "This morning Mrs. Henderson told me how lucky you are to have such a caring family. Should I tell her the truth?" Michael approached, his face red with anger. "Mom, fix this immediately, or else." "Or else what will you do, Michael?" I raised my voice. "Will you send me to a nursing home? You were already doing that." Sarah spoke desperately. "Please, Margaret, be reasonable. These are the children's toys, things we need for work. Reasonable." I took out the storage unit key from my pocket. "What's reasonable is this." I talked to Tom Wilson from Bank of America. I learned that your mortgage payments are 3 months behind. Your credit card debt is $45,000. And without my social security check, you'll lose this house. Michael's face turned ashen. Sarah's crying stopped. Yes, I continued. I learned the real reason you brought me here. Money. My money finances your lifestyle. My monthly $3,200 social security check. The insurance money from Robert. But you were ready to dump me after using me. Sarah spoke through sobs. Margaret, please understand. We just want what's best for you, for me. I started laughing, a nervous laugh. Greenwood, manor charges $4,500 a month. My social security check is $3,200. Where will I find the missing money? From the money Robert left. Wasn't that money set aside for the children's college fund? Michael nodded. Mom, we would have found a solution. What solution? My voice was getting louder. After sending me there, you wouldn't even come to visit. When the children asked where's Grandma, you would say she's in a happy place. At that moment, Emma and Jake came home. They had gotten off the school bus. They froze when they saw the empty house. Grandma, Emma said in a small voice, why is our house empty? That's when I saw the expression on Michael and Sarah's faces. They were ashamed that the children were witnessing this too. Emma, Jake, I said, turning to them, your parents want to send me away from here. I wanted to teach them a little lesson. Jake's eyes filled with tears. Are you going away, Grandma? That depends on your parents, I said. Michael looked desperately. Mom, okay, we understand. Now please bring our things back. Let's talk about this in front of the children. No, Michael, I said firmly. Let the children see. Let them know what this family is facing. Let them see how you devalued their grandmother while you were preparing to dump me. Sarah fell to her knees. Margaret, what do you want? What do we need to do? My conditions are these, I said. You will treat me like an equal family member in this house. We will make decisions together. When you find me slow or annoying, you will be patient instead of telling me to my face. And most importantly, you will never talk about sending me to a nursing home again. Michael nodded through tears. We accept, Mom. Please bring our things back. And I continued, we will work together to fix your financial situation. But this time you will be honest. Tom Wilson will be your financial advisor. I will also control the budget. Sarah desperately agreed. Okay, Margaret, everything will be as you say. One more condition, I said. You will explain to Emma and Jake why their grandmother is here. You will tell them the truth. That night, while they slept in the empty house, I stayed at a nearby hotel. I returned early the next morning. I found them wrapped in blankets on the kitchen floor, sleepless and miserable. Have you decided, Mom? Michael asked in a tired voice. Yes, I said. I'll call the moving company. Your things will be back by noon. But remember, this is our house now. I'm not a guest here. When the things came back, as the house was being rebuilt, I saw the real change in the way Michael and Sarah looked at me. They could no longer ignore me. They could no longer make decisions without me. Everything changed from that day on. They started showing me real respect. We made decisions together. We talked openly about their financial situation, the children, got close to me again because they saw that their parents didn't devalue me. We worked together to solve their financial problems. We cut unnecessary expenses, made a budget. With Tom Wilson's help, we arranged the mortgage payments. But most importantly, I regained my self-respect. 6 months later, Sarah came to me. "Margaret, I want to tell you something. I know what you did that day was very difficult, but you were right. We saw you as a burden. Now I understand that you were the foundation of this family." Michael also apologized. "Mom, when I realized we were about to lose you, I realized how stupid we were. Sometimes in life we get cornered. People think we're weak, old, or a burden. But real strength emerges in those moments. I'm 72 years old, but it's never too late to defend myself." That day, I taught them that I didn't just take their things, but reminded them of my own worth. I'm no longer just someone tolerated in this house. I became someone respected, loved, and valued. So, what would you have done if you were in my shoes? If your family saw you as a burden, would you have stayed silent? Or would you have fought back like I did? And was what I did too extreme? Or was it just right?